Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be doing a Noble Knight deck profile. So this is a deck that I really wanted to update because of the new reprints that they got in the Mega 10s getting completely hollowed out, which I'm really excited to play around with this deck because of the card getting hollowed out. The Until Noble Arms are needed again. I thought it was gorgeous, and I really wanted to do an update of this deck. Because of this card's artwork, just because of how gorgeous this card turned out. So let's get straight on into this, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think of this video down in the comments down below. Hit that button there so you can become part of the notification squad, and let's get straight on into this. So this deck is actually really budget to build. I highly recommend if you guys want to build a budget warrior deck, just get somebody into the game to understand how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! This is a really fun deck to teach somebody how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! With, because you just make one big monster and then you just go. Like, that's it. So let's get into it. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Noble Knight Madrot. Noble Knight Madrot is an awesome card that counts as a normal monster while faceable on the field, and then when it's equipped with the Noble Arms, basically one of the swords, he gains the ability that he becomes a dark monster that becomes 1 level higher, and then once per turn you control no monsters, you can special summon a Noble Knight monster from your deck in defense position except another copy himself, and if you do, you have to destroy an equipped spell card on your side of the field. Then we play 3 copies of Noble Knight Custonin. Custonin is if you control a Noble Knight Noble Arms equipped spell, you can special summon this card from your hand, and you can only special summon him once per turn this way. But his effect is also that a Noble Knight monster that was used as a Synchro, XYZ, or X-Link material using this card gains the following effect. If this card is special summoned, you get to normal summon 1 Noble Knight monster during your main phase this turn, in addition to your normal summoner set. And then you cannot special summon monster from your extra deck for the rest of the turn except Noble Knight monsters, which is not a big deal because the majority of everything we play is Noble Knight monsters in the extra deck, so that's not that big of a deal. Then we play 3 of the best Noble Knight, and that's 3 copies of Noble Knight Brothers. Noble Knight Brothers is when this card is normal summoned, you can special summon 2 more Noble Knight monsters from your hand, which is really good to de-break your hand and just get a bunch of Noble Knight monsters on the field so you can link away them. And you can also have the ability that you can target 3 Noble Knight monsters and or Noble Knight Arms cards in your grave, shuffle them into the deck, and then draw a card. But the really awesome effect, the really kind of sucky effect about this card is that it can't attack unless you have exactly 3 Noble Knight monsters and no other monsters on your side of the field. But usually you're just using this to climb into other things, so that's not that big of a deal. Then we play 2 copies of Gwaine. Gwaine, basically, if you control a light normal monster, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position, which is really good because Madrot counts as a light normal monster, and you also have Boars that counts as a light normal monster as well. So we have enough in the deck that you could play this card at 1, but I like it at 2 because it comes in when you need it. And it's really easy to pull off getting your Gwaine onto the field when you actually need it. Then I play 2 copies of the Lion. I call him the Lion Noble Knight because I don't know how to pronounce his name. I think it's Ivani. I don't know. If a Noble Arms equipped spell card becomes equipped to this card, you get to summon a token onto your side of the field that has 1,000. It's just basically here to link summon into your copy of Two Tales of the Noble Knights, but it also has the effect of is that you can only use this effect once per turn, and then when this card is equipped with a Noble Arms equipped spell, all Noble Knight monsters you control gain 500 additional attack, which is really awesome to just boost them all up by 500. I play 1 copy of Dristan. For the one I'm playing a Dristan. When it's equipped with the Noble Arms, it just destroys you get to target a face-up card on the field and destroy it, which is really a nice effect, and it can't be targeted for an attacks. Our monsters you control with 1,800 or less attacks cannot be targeted with attacks or with card effects while you control another Noble Knight monster. Boars is a one-of because it's not as good as it used to be. It's still good, but it's not as good as it used to be. Basically, its effect is that you can reveal 3 Noble Arms cards in your deck and have your opponent randomly pick one of them, and then send the rest to the graveyard, and then you basically have to equip him with an equip spell to activate that effect to begin with. It's kind of like Madrot. You have to have one equipped to him to activate that ability. So he's kind of a normal monster, vanilla, until you get that ability off. Then I play 1 copy of Noble Knight Ektar. Ektar basically is here because he's kind of like a dragon ruler. You can banish 2 Noble Knight monsters in your graveyard to special summon him from your hand or grave, which is pretty cool. And then once per turn, a Synchro or XYZ monster of a Noble Knight monster using this card as a material cannot be negated, which is really cool, and cannot activate cards or effects when that monster is special summoned, which is pretty cool to just protect your copies of King Artorigus, the High Sacred King. I also play one copy of Ignoble Knight of Black Lancelin. Lancelin, you don't have to play this. I just really like playing him as a one-of. I like seeing him because you can just get him out really easily with your Noble Knight brothers, and he's a level 5 monster to be able to go into your other plays. And he has the ability that you contribute a Noble Knight monster to add a Noble Arms card from your deck to your hand, and you can only use his effect once per turn, and you can only control one of him, but you only play one of him, so that's not that big of a deal. Anyways, it makes going into the one synchro monster that we play extremely easy with Lady of the Lake, and you can send a face-up light normal monster you control to the grave to special summon him, so you can send something like his token to the grave to special summon this, and that was like a free summon. Or you can just summon it out with the Noble Knight brothers because it counts as a Noble Knight, even though he's an Ignoble Knight. But it says Noble Knight in the name, so you can special summon him that way. Then we play 2 copies of Morgan. Morgan's kind of like our hand trap. When your opponent activates a card or effect while you control a Noble Knight monster and Noble Arms equip spell, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard to destroy one Noble Arms equip spell you control, and if you do, negate the activation, which is pretty cool to just be able to negate stuff. And I love the secret rare parallel rare version of her. I played 1 copy of Guinevere. I still haven't wanted to drop the $10 to get the secret rare version of this, but I'm thinking about it for future deck profiles. Basically, she counts as a Noble Arms card that when she's equipped to a monster, if it's a light monster, the equipped monster would destroy a monster by card effect or by battle. You can destroy this card instead if it's going to be destroyed. And if it's a dark monster, when it battles an opponent's monster at the start of the damage step, you can destroy that monster and then this card, which is pretty good, and it also makes them gain 300 attack. And for the last card I play in the main deck for monsters, it's 1 copy of Lady of the Lake. She's too gorgeous not to play as a one-of, and I love the artwork, and I had the first ed copy. So I was like, man, I really want to go into High Lancelin, and this deck is more for fun anyway, so I really wanted to go into High Lancelin. And its effect is that it cannot be used as synchro material except for the synchro summon of a warrior monster, which is not a big deal. We only play 1. And if this card is used for a synchro summon, banish it. When this card is normal summon, you can target a Noble Knight monster, normal monster, in your grave and special summon that target. And if this card is in your graveyard, you can target a level 5 Noble Knight monster you control, reduce its level by 1 if you do special summon this card from the graveyard. So it's really easy to just get it in the graveyard, and then after you do, just special summon it right back by targeting a level 5 or higher Noble Knight monster, and then synchro summon for what you need. So that's it for the monsters. Let's get into the spells. Now, if you want to play more hand traps in the deck, you could, if you want to play hand traps in the deck, you could probably drop the Ignoble Knight and the Lady of the Lake in one of these and play 3 Ash Blossoms if you wanted to go more of that route. But what I would drop is the Lady of the Lake, maybe the Ignoble Knight, and one of him. If you want to play Ash Blossom in here, drop that. So that's it for the monsters. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're playing 1 copy of Monster Reborn because you need the Monster Reborn. I should have put my secret rare one in here, but I didn't. 1 copy of Rhoda. I think I have a super rare floating around somewhere, but I need to find it. It lets you add a level 4 lower warrior monster from your deck to your hand, which is pretty much all of them except Ektar and Ignoble Knight. Double or Nothing, because this deck does sometimes need a backup plan, and Double or Nothing is our backup plan. If Artorigus gets tributed or something, you just special summon Utopia Double, and it's our backup plan to just OTK our opponent. 3 copies of Heritage of the Chalice. Heritage of the Chalice lets you add a Noble Knight monster or a Noble Arms card from our deck to or graveyard to our hand, and if a Noble Knight monster is equipped with a Noble Arms equipped spell card, it's destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard while this card's in your grave. You get to add this card back from your deck graveyard to your hand. So it's just a recurring Rhoda. It's just a recurring Rhoda. You could feasibly drop Rhoda to put Call by the Grave in here if you wanted to. 2 copies of Glory of the Noble Knights. You get to target a Noble Knight monster in your grave, or you control, and equip it with a Noble Knight or Noble Arm spell from your deck, any one that you want. Which this card is pretty good. I've thought about dropping these and maybe Rhoda for 3 Call by the Graves to keep the deck 40, but I haven't done it yet. So for the swords, we're going to play 1 copy of Caliburn, increases the attack by 500 and makes your life points go by 500 once per turn. Galatine makes a monster go up by 1,000, and then it also reduces the attack of the monster by 1,000 during each one of your standby phases. 1 copy of Clarent. Clarent lets you equip it to a Noble Knight monster, and then once per turn you pay 500 life points. The equipped monster can attack directly. And all of the Noble Knight Noble Arms share the ability that if they're sent to the graveyard while equipped to a monster, you can equip it to a different monster you control, which is pretty cool. 1 copy of Lancelin's Sword. I can't pronounce that. I'm not even going to try. Basically, you get to target face-down cards, set cards, and destroy them at the cost of 500 attack points of the monster. 2 copies of Destiny. Destiny is super good. You get to, once per turn, your monster that's equipped with this card cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effect, which is really, really, really good. And then 2 copies of Noble Arms Excalibur. Excalibur, I need to get as super rares, but Excalibur's effect is that you equip it to a Noble Knight monster and it cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects. And its really cool effect is that during the turn it was sent to the graveyard, except during the turn it was sent to the graveyard, you can target a Noble Knight XYZ monster you control and special summon from your extra deck 1 Noble Knight XYZ monster from your extra deck that a different name is the one you control, which is really, really, really cool to be able to just equip, or like if you have Custonin on the field and just go into King Artorias, or if you have the little Artorias and you want to go for the king, the big one, which is another option. So that's it for the spells. I only play 8 equip spells. That's all you need. You don't need any more swords than that. I mean, you could probably even get away with 7 with Glory. I've even thought about cutting this down to 1, but I like to see it in my opening hand. So it's kind of like you're playing 10 with Glory. So for the last 3, I play Until Noble Arms Are Needed Again as a 3 of. Until Noble Arms Are Needed Again is a really awesome card. You excavate cards off the top of your deck equal to the number of Noble Arm spells you control, and if you do, you get to add one of them from your deck to your hand, and then also place the remaining cards on top of your deck in any order. You can banish from the graveyard, and then, except the turn it was sent there, to special summon from your deck 1 Noble Knight monster with a different name from the cards you control or in your graveyard. So you can special summon one of your one-ofs extremely easy off this card, and this card is just absolutely gorgeous. So you need, I was so disappointed when this card came out as a common. I was like, man, that would look so good as a super, and then the Prismatic secreted it, and I was like, gotta build this. Gotta profile it. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're playing 2 copies of the King, which this deck is basically protect the King. Anyways, you want to make this card and equip it with all the equipped cards that you can to boost him up and be able to attack with him. And he's just huge. 2 copies of the Little King. I just call him the Little King. But basically the normal Artorias. He's also really good. I don't make him as much. I make usually the Sacred Noble Artorias a lot more often. 2 copies of Custonin. Custonin's kind of a recovery card. You get to detach materials from him, then target cards your opponent controls equal to the number of cards that you detached, and then return them to the hand, which is really, really cool. And then also he has the ability, if he's destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can special summon 1 Noble Knight XYZ monster from your extra deck, except another copy of himself. And if you attach him as a material from the graveyard. So he just basically, you want to make him first and then go into the big guy. Then I play the Utopia package, which is 1 copy of Utopia the Lightning, 1 copy of Utopia Prime, 2 copies of Utopia, and then 1 copy of Utopia Double. So basically what you do with this is, and I'll explain it like I normally do, you have Utopia Double, which is a package, and then you have Utopia the Lightning, which is a package. So basically, if you want to go the Utopia Lightning package, you go Utopia, and then I overlay on top of Utopia, Utopia Prime, and then I go Lightning to give myself 2 5,000 attack point attacks, or I go Utopia Double, detach a material, add double or nothing, and then go Utopia on top of it, make it 5,000, attack once, and negate its attack, activate double or nothing, attack again, and it's 10,000. So that's the big OTK with Utopia. Then I play 1 copy of Isolde, or 2 copies of Isolde, excuse me. 2 copies of Isolde, 2 Tales of the Noble Knight. Isolde is really good to be able to just link into and then add a warrior monster from your deck to your hand, which just searches basically anything that you need, and then you can send equip spells from your deck to the graveyard to special summon a warrior monster from your deck equal to the level. So this card's really good, and it's great to actually play it in its own archetype. This card was really broken for a while. One copy of Boral Sword because you can make it, and then I play one copy of Ignoble Knight of High Lancelin. I just wanted to play this card for the artwork. You don't have to play Lady of the Lake, and you don't have to play this if you don't want to. I just really love the artwork of this card and wanted to play it as a one-of. When this card is Synchro Summon, you get to equip a Noble Arms equip spell from your deck to this card, and at the end of the battle phase, if this card destroyed an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the grave, you get to add a Noble Knight or Noble Arms from your deck to your hand. I rarely summon it, but when I do, it's fun. I usually just equip it with Galatine and just keep swinging and swinging and swinging with it. So anyways, guys, that's it for the deck. I really hope you enjoyed this one. It's super, super fun to play around with. I really highly recommend you guys build this one. It's pretty budget. I don't think it's that expensive anymore. This deck used to be one of the most expensive decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Just because everything was like secret and above. Like these were like $27 at one point, and now they're like $1, I think. Maybe $2. For the Madrat. So anyways, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell so you can become part of the notification squad, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you around, guys.